Hello, stitching friends. This is Sissy. Oh my goodness. I had the most wonderful time in Scotland and England, and I've been wanting to tell you all about it, but after 3 weeks of perfect health there, I came home and caught a cold from my little grandson. So I'm going to try this. I've been fine. I just have this lingering cough that seems to go on forever. No, Charlie, you don't need that. Let me put it up here. So, I hope that you've been well, and I do want to tell you a little bit. You know, I promised that I was going to try and do one of these videos every month, and it's October 27th, so I thought I better get on with it. First of all, oh my goodness, Nicola and Linda and Michelle and Hobby House and Sue, they put on the most amazing event. The Great British Sampler Weekend was just everything I could have possibly hoped for and more. There were 165 stitchers there from all over the world, and it was so wonderful to meet friends that I had been on Facebook with but never met in person, from Australia and Singapore and England and just everywhere. So many people from America were there. So it was a fabulous time to renew acquaintances and get to know people in person that you've been on Facebook with, and to make new friends. It was just marvelous. I'm going to show you a few of the things from that event. I started typing up my Scottish trip so I would remember everything, and decided that I need to do a there and back again. Maybe I'll do that for my next one, because I just couldn't get everything in on this video. But we'll talk about the Great British Sampler Weekend, and I'll show you some of the things from there. And you know, I promised to tell you a sampler story. So I have, well, one of the places I visited was Stirling, Scotland. So I have Margaret Masson behind me. She was a Scottish girl and lived in Stirling. And then I introduced my Christina McClellan sampler while I was in England. And I, if you would like a booklet, I would love to send you one. I only have about 35 or 40 left. So please shoot me, go on my Gentle Pursuit Designs website. If you would like one, I'll be happy to send you one, and shipping is free. So let's get back to it. I wanted to show you one thing that we found as soon as we got there, and I'm sure that other people have been faster than I have who didn't catch the cough and cold, but I wanted to show you this fish and chips box was on the tables, and the room in Swindon was beautifully, beautifully lit. It was just marvelous. But inside the box, there was this, and then it was such fun. All of the tables had names. You were a name of a county in Scotland or in England. And you had games and things to do with your team, which was lots of fun. And I was in Ayrshire with several friends of long standing, and made brand new friends too while there. So let's see, what else? What do I have in here? I've got my name tag, and we had a little ribbon to wear on our wrists that we put in the back of our name tag so we could shower for meals. And we got this precious little thing, a little scissors block with scissors in it from Hobby House. And oh my goodness, let me see if I can just hold this up first. Whoops. Oh my, it's stuck to the edge. Okay, so We have marking pens in this pretty little container. Oops, I just stuck one out. There we go. This is how it looked when we opened it. So we each got a little tape measure. Oh, it's so cute. And other pretty little surprises. A glasses cleaner. A little tin that says Hobby House Needleworks on it. This contained a number for prizes. We got marking pens. I know you all want to see this. Let me get down here. This was a booklet tucked in here, and some of the people who went have already made the pin cushion and the sampler. You know that I am the slow boat, but it's just lovely and so pretty in person. And we received the linen and other materials if we wanted to make the pin cushion, and the silks and thread winders. Excuse me. And a discount code for Michelle's Tabby Cat linen. I think that was everything that was in here, although I've gotten it out and looked at it several times. Oh, look at this. There's a British flag pin, and next year's event will be at Hobby House in October, and it's going to be the Great British Sampler Weekend Comes to America, and that's going to be lots of fun. And I think they're going to do maybe an American flag. Nicholas said every time they do one of these, they'll have a flag for the country that they do it in, so that will be great fun. Now let me put these things in here. Okay, and oops. One day when we walked in, we were totally blown away when we saw this. This is the back. And this is the front. And every single person found one of these on their table the second day. What a surprise. And mine is filled with all sorts of pretty things. Sue's wonderful mini McBeans. I bought these, I admit. So I couldn't decide, so I bought several of those. And people at the tables were giving sweet gifts. Deborah gave me this crown so I can be a queen of needlework like her. Traditional stitches. Janice was there telling about a limited edition exclusive they're doing that was just a beautiful sampler. And one of the ladies at my table gave me this pretty sparkly pin. What all do I have in here? Oh, Evangeline Joseph of Oklahoma made these pretty things. I think it's cross-stitched. Isn't that beautiful? A little bird on there, and she is, oh, it's in the way so I can't see it. Evangeline Joseph, yes. And Louise Edmonds from Australia gave me that pretty thing. What all do I, just all kinds of surprises were on the table every day. My new friend Rachel had made, she is Scottish, although she is a minister in the Anglican Church in England. Such a lovely person. Rachel made the best shortbread cookies I have ever had, and she gave me the recipe, and I need to translate it a little bit and try it out because shortbread cookies are my favorite. What else do I have in here? Oh, let's see what this is. Chris Gray, an embroidered bookmark, and look what they did inside the drawers even. Isn't that wonderful? So you can remember. I have to find a place for this. Finding a place in my suitcase was a trick, for sure. I went all over Scotland with 60 pounds of booklets in my bags. Thank goodness Terry McMillan, husband Greg, is very strong and helpful because, oh dear, in Scotland, the flat we stayed in Edinburgh was beautiful, but we all went, oh, when we walked in through the door because there was a turret hanging out in the open. I think that building was probably, oh, I'd say at least 400 years old, and the flat had been renovated, but the turret up to the second floor had not. Oh my goodness, that was an adventure. My friend Sarah from Remote Stitchers gave us surprises. Oh my goodness, I've got all kinds. And Polly gave us little thread cards, just stitching along. Several of the designers who were there gave us booklets to go along with their talk. Let's see here. I'm going to take a sip of this. Okay, so it was just fabulous. I can't say enough about it. And Nicola is already making plans for us to be back in Swindon again in October of 2025. So watch her YouTubes and keep an eye open for when it opens up because it is just wonderful. I'm going to be saving my nickels and dimes so I can get back. One thing that I did, I gave a talk on Scottish samplers. Surprise, I'm wearing a thistle. How about that? My Christina McClellan sampler, oops, excuse me, Charlie. Charlie's under the table. I introduced this. I released this sampler. Isn't that beautiful? Special thanks. Get it back up here. My friends Sharon Huffsetter and Judy Hall worked on that sampler. And it is just a gorgeous, gorgeous sampler. Christina was only 10 when she made it, and I can't believe it because when I opened the sampler and looked at the back, you cannot see where she carried her threads, where she even tied them off. So this is the booklet, and I have, you know, my usual large graphs and charts and explanations, and I tell Christina's story in here. It's a PDF on my website. I tell about what I found when I opened the back of the sampler too, with some pictures. I thought you might find that interesting. But the PDF is on my website, but if you'd like a booklet, you need to hurry. I'd be happy to give you one. Oh, I'd give you one. It's free shipping, so that's helpful. But Nicola had asked me to design something for the group, and so I took some of the motifs from Christina, and I made this Hidden Queen needle book. And heck, did I lose it? It's here somewhere. So I took these crowns and some of the borders for the front and the back. Here's the back. And then I took this from the sampler, one of the borders, and Love Your Neighbor. And the Hidden Queen is Mary, Queen of Scots. And this is a self-lined piece, and you have the front and back. And for this particular design, I did this, the Great British Sampler Weekend, Swindon, England, and again using letters from Christina's sampler. And this is a new teaching piece, and what I'm doing is, instead of this, whichever organization is sponsoring the event, I'm designing a new back page. So this is a new teaching piece, and it's self-lined, so you know you do non-stitch around the edges and then fold it a certain way and join them, and it's completely finished. Ta-da! Very neat, no corners to miter. And this is the booklet. And of course, I had these for everyone in Swindon, and I've told I have always been interested in Mary, Queen of Scots, and I've included part of her life story in the booklet. And when I teach it, you know, I won't do booklets, but I'll have the chart packs with the group that's organizing the event featured in that last panel. But let's see, this is what it looks like when you stitch it. Okay, so what else? I took the booklets, 165 booklets, and then I took some for the boutique, and I was just delighted. This is my Autumn Sampler Compendium, and I took a sampler and made it smaller, and changed up the stitches to make this front page. And I added the pumpkins. The pumpkins were not in the original antique sampler. But the house and the fence and the trees and the flower pots were. And then this has like 14 different stitches in it. And I'm going to be teaching this in February to the Sampler Guild. And I took like 10 booklets and they sold out immediately, which was lots of fun for me. Because going to a sampler event, you never know if they also like smalls like I do. You know, which is so sad. The sparkle just doesn't really show. I have some sparkle in that middle window. Let's see if I can move it a little bit. And in the flower pots and here and there, you know, but it doesn't show very well, does it? Anyway, so that was fun. So I did some retail therapy while I was there. Nicola's new materials are just wonderful. I sent one of the packages home with Sarah, and hopefully I'll have a new sewing bag to take with me when I go places before long. What else did I want to show you? Let's see. Okay. Oh, I met Jane Greenoff, and she was just wonderful. And I bought this kit from her. She was there and had lots of beautiful things. Let's see. So it's the Little Book of Samplers. Oh my goodness, what else? We have some specialty threads. You know how I like little books. So this is the Little Book of English Samplers. And I'm always interested in how things go together. So I really look forward to getting familiar with this. And this, tribute to Ackworth School, you know, my, let's see, did I put it here? Oh. This Ann Wilson sampler has the same motif in it, and I did I used one of these to make this little self-lined needle book. So I do love the little things. But that was such a wonderful experience to meet Jane Greenoff and see all of her lovely things. Speaking of lovely things, what did I do with that? Well, I was in Scotland, and where were we? Just to give you kind of a framework, I flew into London and met up with friends, and 5 of us went on to Edinburgh. And we were in Edinburgh for 2 days, and then we went on a 4-day tour with the most wonderful tour guide that had been recommended to us, Neil McCowan. Oh, he was fabulous. And we went to Stirling, Scotland, and all around there, and to Inverness and all around there. We spent 4 nights away and saw so many fabulous things. We had a cruise on Loch Ness to Orcourt Castle. I've been up and down so many castles. That's one reason I need to organize what I did when, so that I can keep track of where all we were. But it was just an amazing trip. And we were in this little village of Falkirk. And as we pulled up, you know, we parked and got out, and I walked by an antique shop, and it was an antique violin shop. And I slipped in. The others were going in different directions. And there was a little old gentleman there, and it was very dark and kind of crowded shop. So I asked if he had any needlework, and he said no, that he didn't think so at this time. And I looked around, and there were embroidered dresser scarves used for displays, and there was a beautiful piece of lace across the top of a bookcase shelf display. And then I saw something that caught my eye. It was this. And it was very, very dusty. And I took the first casket class that Tricia Gwynn did, and Dad was having a lot of serious illnesses. So I was back and forth, and I eventually printed everything, but I never did a casket. But I knew enough to recognize metallic threads. And so I bought it and thought, well, I'll find somebody who really knows about metallics and see. And in Swindon, I met Lady Penelope and Jane Greenoff. And Penelope had shown me these beautiful pictures of her embroidery, including gold work, so I knew that she would do it. So during one of the breaks, I slipped up to my room and brought it down, and Penelope and Jane Greenoff said, "Where did you get that?" And I told them, and they said, "How much did you pay for it?" And I said, £8, and they nearly fainted. But isn't that beautiful? So it wasn't a sampler, but it is a treasure. And while I was away, I had a delivery of something that I had bought on eBay from Elegant Arts. I showed these little pieces in my last video that I did in September. I got a lesson from a Scottish woman. It's Mauchline, where, and you pronounce it Machlin. Look at that. Another little piece came from my collection. Isn't that beautiful? So it's a Machlin ware. I learned so much. I have been trying to find out what a particular tree might be. And when I do the there and back again, I'll have to tell you who helped me find out about that and a little bit more about that. And I also saw an antique sampler with a magic square on it, a Scottish sampler. So that led me in another direction, trying to find out about magic squares. I'm designing something now, and I'm still kind of working on what it will be, but it will definitely have one of those special trees and a magic square on it. So let's see, what else did I want to tell you? Oh, so I got home, and lo and behold, what would I see? I need to just stop looking. But, let's see if I can move. Oh, I forgot to show you this. This came with the fish and chips box, so you can stuff your pincushion with it. That was another thing from the Great British Sampler Weekend. So this caught my eye. Big surprise, right? So those of you who have had my lecture will know that that's a Scottish sampler. And it's not in great condition, but I saw down here at the bottom, it says Greenock Female School of Industry, November 18, and they picked out the date. So it was stitched by Magdalene Alexander, and she has Greenock, C-R-E-E-N-O-C-K, Female School of Industry, stitched on it, but it was actually Greenock, G-R-E-E-N-O-C-K. So she has given tribute to Mrs. Cameron and Mrs. Brown, her teachers, and there's the cutest little lady to the side of that. Charlie, I have my friend here. He wants to go for a W-A-L-K. Anyway, so here it is. Charlie, stop. Now, I've done a little research. I need to do a lot more, but I did find Magdalene Alexander, and the family initials match up, and she was born on June 16th, 1820, and baptized the 25th of June, 1820, in West O.R., Old Parish, Greenock, Renfrewshire, Scotland, the church. So her parents were Robert Alexander and Elizabeth Miller. And I have a lot more research to do to find out more about Greenock Female School of Industry. I look forward to digging in and learning more about Magdalene. You know, I haven't run into that name on a Scottish sampler before. My name is really Jeanne Magdalene, so I thought that was especially interesting. So, what else? I'm going to tell you a story in just a minute, but I wanted to mention some upcoming classes. Let's see, what am I doing? January through April. I have a Zoom interactive sampler presentation with Western Reserve Sampler Guild. No, that's with Northwest Sampler Guild on June 27th. And in February, I'm teaching my sampler stories, Hold All, to the Remote Stitchers group. In March, I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to be teaching at the beautiful National Historic Landmark Berry Hill Resort and Conference Center in South Boston, Virginia. That event is March 21st through 24th. That is sponsored by SalemStitches.com, SalemStitches, and you can find out all about that. There's also a quilting teacher there at the same time. So her events sound absolutely beautiful, and the resort is gorgeous, and it's not far. It's just up the road in South Boston, Virginia. Then I'll be coming back on the 22nd because I'm doing a my Autumn Sampler Compendium class with the Western Reserve Sampler Guild. Now that's closed out. the Berry Hill Resort is still open, and I'll be teaching my little Hidden Queen. Oh, here it is. I keep losing things. I'll be teaching my Hidden Queen self-lined needle book there. And I've redesigned this panel to reflect the Berry Hill Resort event. So that will be fun. Let's see, what else? Oh, I'm going to be Zooming with the Queen City Sampler Guild April 6th, and look forward to that. And then April 19th, I'm going to be flying to Indianapolis to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Indianapolis chapter of the Embroiderers Guild, and I'll be teaching a class there and doing another presentation. So I'm working on the cutest thing, and I wonder what I did with it. Well, heck, I don't see it. I guess I'll show it next time. It is a trifold. It's a triangular piece, and I'm using motifs from one of my Scottish samplers on it. And it'll be like 2 rectangles, and they'll have none stitch around the edges. And then you fold them a couple of different ways, and it becomes a double-sided triangular piece with a trap door, so you can put things inside. It could be a scissors keeper, or you could put a gift in it for a friend, use it as an ornament. So I really thought that I had put it down here, but I don't see it anywhere. So next time we'll do the there and back again. Well, let me tell you about Margaret, since I promised you a story. This is, excuse me, Charlie, I'm stepping on my dog. Okay, so this is Margaret Masson, M-A-S-S-O-N, and she stitched this in 1813, and she put her parents' initials right there and on the other side, which helped me to find her. Isn't that a beautiful Scottish sampler? Now, I've seen that particular fence on many of the Palladian style homes on Scottish samplers, and you can see the fir trees down at the bottom. But I have not seen a house that style until this one. Let me set it back over here, and then I'll tell you about her. Okay, so Margaret was 9 years old when she made the sampler. There were 3 Margaret Masons that could have been my sampler maker because of the date of completion, but kindly, because Margaret left her father's initials JM and mother's CL, I was able to find her. Her parents' names were John Masson and Christian Leishman, and that's how I was able to find out which Margaret was mine. She was born February 28th, 1804, and christened March 22nd, the same year, in Stirling, Scotland. It's no wonder that she was able to do this lovely work at such a young age, because my research revealed she came from a family that believed in educating their daughters as well as their sons. Here's what I found out. There were 8 daughters and 1 son in this family. It appears the children were born in this order: Christian, Elizabeth, Barbara, Margaret, another Barbara, Anne, John, Helen, and Clementine. I haven't been able to locate much information for Anne, John, Helen, or Clementine, but census records from 1851, 61, 71, and 81 provided significant details for Christian, Barbara, Margaret, and Elizabeth. I believe that they were running a school because of the clues on the 1851 census. Christian was listed as being 50 years old and was housekeeper and head of household. They were living in Port Street in Stirling, Scotland. Elizabeth, Margaret, and Barbara are all listed as teachers, and there are 2 little girls, 7 and 8 years old, living with them, listed as pupils and boarders. Port Street in Stirling is just down the street from 1 Allen Park, where the sisters were living according to the records. And I can hardly believe this as I read it, because guess where we stayed when we were in Stirling? The Allen Park Hotel. So anyway, I didn't have this with me when I was there, and I was thinking, where did they live? I'll have to go back to Stirling and find their place. I could see it online when I researched the address. So let's see. The lovely thing is that in all of these census records, 1851, 61, 71, and 81, these sisters were together all through the years, and it shows that they were teachers, and then they were retired teachers still living together until one sister after another went on ahead. So that's a beautiful story about Margaret Masson. And something interesting, I know you all are familiar with Betty Ring. Well, when she passed away, there was a huge sale of her samplers. And I tried to find the dadgum exhibit just before I started this, the booklet, and I couldn't find it. But as I was flipping through it, I found a sampler that looked very much like this one, so much that it was almost identical. And when I looked up the little girl who made that, I believe, as I recall, Betty Ring bought it in Louisiana in the 1960s. But the little girl who made it, she was from Stirling, Scotland, and based on her age, she very well could have been one of Margaret's students. So I thought that was a lovely story. Well, now I'm going to go and take you-know-who for a you-know-what, but I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I will be more coordinated next time. I had to leave when I coughed, so I need to figure out how to splice this together. Where is Nicola when you need her? Anyway, thank you so much for your time with me, and the next time I come on, hopefully it will be soon, I'll do a there and back again and tell you all the wonderful, wonderful things that we saw when we were in Scotland, and the beautiful needlework as well. Okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.